Hello Matrix, welcome to the first of a series of videos on the Beneficiaries. You should have one of these with you, a copy of the novel, The Beneficiaries. It's quite handy. I know you probably haven't read it yet, or maybe you have, but very good to have that. So let's get cracking. I want you to turn first of all to what in your book will be page... What page is it actually? It doesn't have a page number, but it's the page before part 1. It's this one. It's got an Antjie Krog quote in it. I want to read that quote. Listen to what it says. "The truth is validated by the majority, they say, or you bring your own version of the truth to the merciless arena of the past. Only in this way does the past become thinkable, the world become habitable." Now, this is a quote, an epigraph from Antjie Krog's Country of My Skull, which is a book that Antjie Krog wrote about the Truth and Reconciliation Commission and South Africa's attempt to come to terms with the past that is apartheid. And in many ways, the Beneficiaries is set in the same backdrop, so it's really useful that this quote is used. There are a few things that I want to mention about in this quote, and you need to pick these up. So let's have a read through it again. First, it says the truth is validated by the majority. What that means is that if the majority of people think something is true or think a version of the truth is reality, then that becomes the reality, and it's proved to be true by the majority of people thinking in a certain way. So that's quite an interesting statement, and this novel has a lot to do with truth and the perceptions of truth and who is truthful and who isn't truthful and what version of the truth you actually believe. And particularly in the character Lali, we see an ebb and flow of truth and what she feels truth might be, until ultimately at the end of the novel she does in a sense find herself, but also realizes that in order to deal with her past she has to actually testify in the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which when we first meet her is something that she really doesn't want to do. Secondly, it says, or you bring your own version of the truth to the merciless arena of the past. So there's this whole idea of that we often manufacture our truth. We often try and understand our own version of the truth, or a version of the truth that makes us feel comfortable with who we are and with what we've become. And that whole idea of the merciless arena of the past brings to mind the arenas of Roman times, the gladiators, the fact that they were cruel, ruthless people who would fight to the death. It was a life and death situation. And so often the past is like that, a merciless arena. It doesn't give. Our past sometimes haunts us. And what Antjie Krog is saying here is that we need to bring our own version of the truth to the past, and that's often the only way that we can deal with it. And we see that in Pim, who is actually Edgar, but Pim is his nickname or family name. We see that in Lali, who is also known as Letitia. Her full name is Letitia, and we see all of these characters trying to deal with their past. We see that also in Nomda Koshani appeals to Lali to come back and tell the truth about her son. And for her too, that truth is important. And even Lali's version of the truth is important. And I think a lot of this novel has to do with Lali's wrestling with the truth and what truth really is. The last thing that is said there is, only in this way, if truth is validated by the majority, or we bring our own version of the truth to the past, only in this way does the past become thinkable and the world become habitable. So it's almost like the only way we can live fully in the present is if we come to terms with our past. strange thing about this is memories are often referred to as hazy, great memories of times gone by. And actually what Antjie Krog is saying in this quote is that sometimes the past is tough, and the truth about the past is tough. And that's very difficult often to deal with. It's very often difficult to deal with what we have experienced and how that has shaped us. And so this novel, just by way of introduction, deals with a lot of those things. It deals with a lot of wranglings about the truth and who people really are and identity, and how the truth has affected people and how reality has affected people and the way people perceive things to be. And so we'll be discussing a lot of those kind of issues in the videos that will come, and also in class. Thank you.